Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I have some pretty awesome games with you. So I did see down in the comments that some people want to see like losses and wins, where we kind of, lose a game and then kind of see what works, see what didn't, maybe win a game. And yesterday was a perfect opportunity for this because we kept fighting the same fire, SAS, RMP over and over. Granted, we did lose more than we won. We did change up our strategy a bit to actually get some wins off. This is currently the highest team in North America that we're fighting right now, I believe. And they pretty much, they were queuing all day, we were queuing all day, so we got a good series against them. And here are some of the games, but yeah, we did end up negative in the series against them, but we had a lot of very fun games, win or lose. So I held my block there because my druid's actually playing Fortified Bark. I did want to note that I'm not playing Temp Shield, I am playing Kleptomania, and that was really just because it was super meta. Like, the other mage was playing Klepto as well, so when he would Klepto all my hots, I would just Klepto all my hots back. I don't know if it was good or not. I kind of maybe just like Temp better, but it kind of worked out. Tried to get the ring there off of that bash, but I do get locked. It's very, very difficult to land CC with, Shadow or Death from the Priest or Premonition, kicks from the Mage, and kicks from the Rogue. Pretty much just CC all over the place. We do get Cloak Shadows from the Rogue here, and Trinket, a Life Grip from the Priest. So it seemed like Rogue swaps were kind of working. So that was kind of our strategy at the start of the night, was let's just keep swapping Rogue, let's just keep swapping Rogue. But we couldn't end up actually making it work. We could never punish him hard enough. So later in these games, as the games went on, we decided, let's just hit Mage more. Let's just go Mage more and more and more and see if we can kind of outlast them. And initially, I thought no way would we ever be able to kill a Fire Mage before we killed a Frost Mage. If you guys didn't know, every time Fire Mages blink, they get a heal. Their armor reduces physical damage against them. They have Cauterize, which means even if they're 1%, they can hold their ice block, because once they die, they go back to 50% life with a damaging dot on them. So they can wait until their Cauterize procs to block if they want to. There's so many things about Fire Mage, just makes it very difficult to keep up with them as far as, tankiness. Frost Mages are just, they just die, and yeah, Fire Mages also don't have to cast as much. Fire Mages have instant cast pretty much everything, whereas Frost, I do have to get off my Frost Bolts or my Evan Bolt. With this new Orb spec, some of my burst is instant cast, but I still have to cast, a lot more than a Fire Mage would have to cast. Trying to burst the Rogue here, we get Powered Barrier, not the greatest burst setup. I only have one Ice Block available. We haven't forced the one block from the Fire Mage yet. But yeah, I'm just trying to kite the Rogue as far as possible, maybe do a setup on the Rogue, maybe look at something on the Mage. Mage has no Trinket and Priest has no Trinket for 20 seconds, so there is still, some stuff available. I ring myself into the room and just eat while my Druid's getting spam sap, spam cheap shotted. The Rogue actually runs into the ring. I thought that was a little funny. Run out of the room, and I pretty much just saved a bunch of cooldowns there. From my Druid being CC'd, I just ran into the room, ringed myself off, and just ate myself to full HP, which I thought was pretty cool. So just building up icicles here onto the Rogue, seeing what my Rogue wants to do next. I do have Orb available within 5 seconds, so I want to make something of it. Trying to sheep the Priest here, fake his death, full sheep the Priest, and I'm orbing the Rogue here, doing some pretty decent damage. Trying to get a resheep here on the Priest. I do end up landing it, trying to go for one more, but I get kicked by the Rogue. My Rogue knows that and full blinds the Priest. Priest trinkets, and we get the Rogue kind of low, but now we get Pain Sub. I have Vendetta on me. My Druid's sitting some CC, so he calls out for me to block at high life rather than low life. I know there's some people, oh, it's a waste of a block, but with Vendetta on you, you're almost always going to block anyway, eventually. And with my healer and CC, it's much better to just block high life, block the Vendetta off, and make it easier for your healer so he doesn't have to re-top you after you're already very, very low. But anyways, Rogue Mage goes into a full kidney. I'm just dying, trying to get CC off, but just end up going down. So that was the first game. Actually, I don't know if these are in order. Yeah, these probably aren't in order. But yeah, so we fight these guys again, whether they're in order or not. And I think Um, at this point in time, we either are still trying a lot of rogue swaps, but I think we're kind of realizing mage is not a bad kill target. If we can, get some decent bursts onto him, kill him in burst windows, not train him down because we're sub frost. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, their fire assassin, we're sub frost. So that's the main difference here. It might look like rogue mage mirrors, but the strategies are completely polar opposite. We're sub frost, we do a lot of swapping, stunning, burst this guy, whereas their fire assass, they can train one target down, a lot of consistent pressure, high DPS, but their swaps aren't as scary, powerful, as frequent as our swaps can be. So there's pros and cons to each comp. Also, we're running with a Resto Druid. Resto Druid has, some huge advantages. It's much harder to sheep a Resto Druid, for one. Hots are insane for 2, and Barkskin's really good for 3. But their RMP setup, they have Mass Dispel from the Priest for my ice blocks. They have quicker goes with just Fear. Priest is just a faster paced healer than a Druid because they don't have to slowly hot up. They just have heals and they can just Fear and go. But yeah, so we're here in another game and we actually got all 3 trinkets. This game is going very well. I still have 2 blocks. I do have a Vendetta up on me, but my Druid isn't in CC, so I'm just trying to hold my block as long as possible. He gets kind of CC'd up here and calls for my block eventually, though. So yeah, I guess I could have blocked even a higher life. This game I actually am playing Temp Shield. I'm not playing Kleptomania. I don't know. Yeah, it might have been an accident or whatever, but I think this is one of the games that we won, so maybe Temp Shield's just fine, because Temp Shield does help me live, because it forces him to spell steal every time they're trying to burst me down. We get a kidney on the priest and a cheap shot on the mage, but I do get counterspelled. So if the stuns came a second delayed and we actually got a burst on the rogue, I think the game might have been over. So basically what happened is I tried to sheep off the kidney, but the mage's cheap shot fell and the mage actually counterspelled me. So if that setup was done, about a second later, we might have just won the game right there with that setup on rogue with orb, because they all 3 had no trinkets. Getting some decent damage here off on the mage. This game is the vibe of it is feeling very, very nice compared to our other games. We're kind of doing a strategy where we're sitting on the mage, doing a good amount of damage onto the mage, but then making a lot of swaps to the rogue. Sheeping the priest full here, making another swap to the rogue, kind of like what I was just talking about. Getting him very low, trying to get a resheep. I do get the resheep. Rogue gets down extremely low. He pops Cloak of Shadows. I counterspell the mage, and the priest goes into a full clone. I actually don't know how the rogue lives. So he gets a vanish off. So the rogue cloaks into a late vanish there with no stun DRs on him. The priest gets 3 sheeped and a 3 clone into a bash. Now we just start hitting the mage, because instead of doing nothing, the rogue's in stealth. We decided to hit the mage, because the mage actually blocked already to peel. So that was, yeah, so the mage blocked a peel for rogue, which is really good for us. So now we're like, okay, mage has no block, rogue has his trinket back up. We kind of like mage a little bit. So yeah, so now we're like, okay, let's hit mage, try to get another CC on this priest. The rogue trinkets the cheap shot there on that setup. And because we were still like, okay, they're both really good kill targets. They're both low on defensives. Rogue has no cloak, no vanish, etc. But he does have his, he did have trinket back up, now he doesn't. So now I'm going for more sheeps here onto this priest. We bait his trinket, sheep his trinket, into a quarter sheep, into a kidney shot. The rogue gets pain stuffed up, though. I thought I could Evan Volt and kill through it, but he actually does catch a heal, and he ends up living there. The mage steals my Icy Veins, which is never a good thing. Icy Veins is one of my biggest cooldowns, so when Fire Mages steal it, makes me a sad Xaryu. Just holding my ice block there, pretty ballsy hold on block, sheeping up the mage. At this point, we can kill the rogue because he has no trinket, or we can kill the mage. Kidney goes out onto the priest. I try to get a ringer on the corner, would have been a very nice ring, but I do get Dragon's Breath. Trying to go for a sheep here. Fake the death on the priest. He line of sights, won't be able to get the sheep yet. Hitting the mage. I call out if my rogue has blind here, and I think he does. So our strat is to blind the priest and either go rogue or mage. Full blind goes out on priest. The mage goes into a full kidney shot, orb, burst, kill. So that was pretty freaking awesome. And I think that game kind of gave us some confidence that, hey, we can actually go mage. And it's not easy. It's not an easy matchup, but we can maybe win if we go mage. If we play really, really well. Obviously, our opponents are all insanely good players. We fought them many, many times. throughout the night. And like I said, we did lose more than we won. This is just showing 2 wins, 2 losses, I think, to kind of show, I don't win them all, but, I try to do my best and try to evaluate games when we do lose, see what's working, see what's not working, change up the strategy, etc. So in this game, I am playing Temp Shield again, but I think it's one of the losses. So the Temp Shield, there's no correlation between winning and losing in Temp Shield or versus Klepto, I think. I think there was one of each. But yeah, anyway, we tried to do a big burst on the mage. He Kleptos all my HOTS, which definitely isn't good. Trying to sheep the rogue, get a sheep on the rogue. This is Vendetta, that's why I'm super scared. Still super scared. Sheep the rogue half if I can. The priest is into a full kidney, still hitting the mage, trying to get some follow on that priest. So I couldn't call him so he stays out in the middle for longer. Power Word Barrier does go down outside of our burst. That's pretty nice. We get Power Word Barrier for kind of free there. As you can see on my Omni bar, they're pretty much out of kicks, out of deaths. Like, this would be a good time to set up. But I don't have orb for about 20 seconds, so I have no damage for a little bit. Still onto this mage. Sheep and clone overlap, which is totally fine. Kind of wasted temp there. It's actually a pretty bad temp from me. I guess I was just so scared most of the game that I was like, alright, I have temp. I need it for the damage mitigation, but I shouldn't do that. So I ring the priest after this blind with a sheep onto the rogue into a clone. Doing some good damage to the mage, but he does get pain supped. And even with this perfect cross EC, sheep's clones, the pain sub takes care of it. And a Kleptomania. So mage gets Klepto to steal all my HOTS. He has that pain sub, and even though we get cross EC, I'm the one forced into the ice block. So that was I know I was so sad there. We get that perfect cross EC, and I hit the ice block, and yeah, go down. Feels bad, man. Alright, so here's the last game. I know this video is going a little bit long, but I think you guys would really enjoy these high-ranked Rogue Mage mirrors, so definitely, definitely pretty excited to show you guys these games. But anyway, going into this last game here, we have Tiger's Peak Arena, trying to get them out of stealth, doing the best I can to try to find them, trying to just get icicles and, build up a little bit of damage, but the priest is just line of sighting. They do open up me onto this pillar. In this game, I am actually playing Kleptomania. And I'll kind of try to call it out when I use it, if I can see it here. But yeah, just building up some Frostbolt damage. He uses Combustion, and I use my Kleptomania to steal his Combust, and I remove the Combust. So if he Kleptos back, then he's not actually going to steal it. The priest actually deaths blind there, which was a pretty awesome play by the priest. I go ahead and full sheep him though because he has no death available. Rogue gets full clone, perfect cross CC into the kidney, triple CC here. Gonna throw out my Icy Veins, my orb, my Comet Storm, my Ice Nova, a couple lances, and boom, we force a block. So yeah, that was pretty freaking awesome. That's all it takes is a full CC on the healer, full CC on the rogue, full CC on the mage, triple CC, and pop all of our cooldowns, and it's usually going to be something. So that was pretty awesome. And then I think at this point we had a good amount of confidence in the mage. Mage has no trinket, no ice block. The rogue has no trinket. So the priest still has his trinket available though, and I think pain stuff is still available as well. I get very scared for my rogue here. I actually double blink in, sheep the mage, which might have saved my rogue there. Sheep the priest full. Kind of want to do something with this. Hitting the mage a little bit. I get sheeped up, get dispelled, get a resheep onto the priest, casting an Ebon Bolt, and boom, big damage, and the mage goes down. So I was very happy with that game. The tempo felt great. Everything felt very great that game. That was our second win. Overall, pretty freaking awesome games, guys. This is the highest team in the US, I believe. They're 2,900-ish. So yeah, pretty freaking cool stuff. Thumbs the video up if you liked it, guys. Thumbs it down if you didn't. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see for next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!